Welcome to CG Live. Tim Ahlman here with the one and only Mikhail Heiden.
It's ready.
You knew that was coming. If you don't know, Jack Cowberg early on at one of our events, he called Michael. First event.
I was at.
Mikhail. And it sticks from time to time, makes us all smile. So the joy of the Lord is here. A few quick announcements before we get into our topic on honoring the body is Palm Sunday is going to be off the charts. Pastor Michael gets to hang out at the Gilbert campus, both traditional services, 7:30 and 9. And then if you come to the Gilbert campus expecting a contemporary either at 9 or 10:45, you will be very disappointed. Very disappointed because you will need to be at Cadence, the park there. It's going to be an outdoor worship extravaganza, 10 a.m. contemporary worship, bringing all of our team together. So hopefully a lot of our Gilbert family can go see what God is doing in Cadence in the East Mesa family, that campus. It's going to be a lot of fun. Are you stoked?
I am excited for you all. I won't be able to participate, but I am excited for like the joint gathering. Plus that area is just so much fun. It's growing. It's crazy.
Palm Sunday at Christ Greenfield, let alone all of Holy Week, is pretty next level amazing.
I'm excited.
So you're going to get to take in all the amazing palms in the worship center. They deck it out, dude. Palms go over the main aisle.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a huge day. You can go, I think, to our website to find this day to serve. Maybe it's even on your dashboard. But with that, go to your dashboard, and right there when you open up the app, it's going to say your dashboard, here's your next steps for ministry. Right below that is Holy Week. All the data, unique times at the Gilbert campus for Easter service. And then we got obviously Monday, Thursday, Good Friday at the Gilbert campus as well. It will be so much fun. VBS, sign up to serve, just said 2 words of encouragement right now. So many people are signing up to serve, so you do not want to miss the opportunity to be blessed with kiddos, both in Gilbert and in East Mesa. Another huge, and this comes from the bottom of our hearts, gratitude. We've been talking, remember the end of the fourth quarter, into the beginning of the first quarter of the fiscal year. We were tracking a little bit behind, a number of reasons, trying to figure out exactly why. Obviously, inflation is a thing today, but in February, you responded and exceeded budget by $30,000. So praise be to God. Pray we can continue on that trend moving forward. Really helps us advance the cause of Christ. All right, so Sunday, we talked a lot about honoring the body. The data has come in. It keeps flowing in from all the health and wellness folks. So much literature out there about the amazing health crisis that we're in, not just globally, but even in America. 98%, this is a stat that kind of boggles my mind, Michael. 98% of resources toward healthcare is in reaction mode. So you get sick, and you got to go to the doctor. You get cancer, you got to get chemotherapy. 98%. Guess how much goes to proactive nutritional causes in the United States? You can do the math. 2%. 2%, Michael. Not rocket science. So what does it look like for the church, I would say, to be a place of health and wellness, caring for heart, body, mind, spirit? We talked about the theology of the body is really what this last Sunday leaned us into. What about our bodies now and even our bodies into the resurrection just blow your mind, Michael? Anything just top of mind about how fearfully and wonderfully we're made?
I mean, a lot of things. One of them is just like how much the body matters. Like God created us body and soul, breathed into us a breath of life. And then, the end for us isn't heaven, but it's a resurrected body. Like our physical bodies matter. And then just to think about like how fine-tuned and intricate the body is. And to like what comes to mind, just how intricate not only as your physical body, but how it impacts you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and vice versa, how your mental, emotional, spiritual well-being can affect you physically, how it's all so beautifully intertwined for our good.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And what we're putting in our bodies actually matters.
Yeah.
You are literally made of what you eat. Isn't that nuts?
The old cliche is true. You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. So we're going to get toward the end. We're going to give you some healthy food and things like that. Shout out to Dr. Ahlman and some of his list. But there's a new study just came out 2 years ago about metabolism. You may have heard the myth that at a lot of different stages as you age, your metabolism goes down. Incrementally, and you're on a fast track toward decelerating, less athletic, less movement, mind kind of starts to slow down. Well, a new study came out 2 years ago that totally debunks this myth. And if you want like the deep dive with the guy who did the study and wrote the book, go to the Model Health Show by Sean Stevenson. He interviewed this doctor and it blew my mind. So here's what they found in layman's terms. I love listening to like geeky doctor scientist talk and then saying, okay, how would I say this so that everyone can understand?
Say it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Talk like I'm a 5-year-old. Super simple. So here's what they found: that your metabolism goes crazy between the age of 0, first day of birth, and 1. Just fast. And then between the age of 1 and 20, it's like super high, and you think as kids that it would continue to accelerate actually through those years. It actually slowly decelerates. Your metabolism kind of slowly decelerates. So you can see childhood obesity and things like that. Like, how could that even be? Again, going back to excess body fat. And here's what they found too: that these stages, which should be a very natural thing, because of excess weight on our bodies, weight that's not meant to be there, this sort of a 4-stage cycle doesn't take place. So you got the first stage, second stage, 1 to 20. Between the ages, this is going to blow your mind. It blew mine. Between the ages of 20 and 60, guess what your metabolism does? It stays exactly the same. If you're eating good food, there should be a 40-year stretch. They studied 6,000 participants actually between the ages of 1 day and 90 years old, and they found that it should just
because typically you think like every year it's kind of like downhill,
right?
Like it's going to get slower.
Well, they say certain milestone events, like for women menopause, or men kind of low testosterone, and all these types of things they throw out, or you enter into these different phases where your brain just kind of. And here's a crazy thing too: Tom Brady still playing football at 40, whatever, 6, 7 years old. I mean, he's just now kind of retiring.
Yeah.
He kind of shows, I mean, with healthy living, obviously uniquely gifted to do his sport, but you can keep at a certain level of athletic. That's crazy. The body's nuts. And then here's the other thing they found. They studied between the ages, this is the 4th phase, between the ages of 60 and 90. And guess how much the metabolism goes down in that 4th phase? 17%.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. So this is what it means. There's only a 17% difference in normal metabolism when you eat what God put in the earth between the ages of 20 and 90. Nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's nuts. So what are some of your healthy habits? Like all of our habits are, this is one of my favorite phrases: if God made it, I ate it. If man made it, I hate it, but I probably ate it too, because it just is what it is. There's unhealthy processed foods that are around. So what are some of your healthy habits?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't have a lot of health. I probably could grow in my healthy habits. We could all grow. Yeah. There are a lot of growth opportunities. I'd say like my top 2 that like they're habitual, they're part of my rhythm, my routine is sleep, go to bed, like very structured kind of bedtime routine like I'm a little kid, and going to bed relatively early. But then also water, lots of water. I drink lots of water. And then I would say maybe almost a good habit, we're getting there, is like just going for walks. Like Fridays, Joy and I go for like a hike every Friday. It's kind of those like healthy activities. Running just to run sounds like a nightmare to me, so I'll stick with walking. But well, you know my favorite food, and so man made it, but I don't hate it. Chips.
Oh, I love chips too. So why? I mean, so there's certain types of processed food. There's ultra processed food, and then like mildly processed food. That's a layman's term, but like ultra processed food is actually the chips.
No, don't say it, Tim.
You look at the back, and they're so addicting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So they have to put stuff in there that keeps you eating that chip when you're like, why do I keep reaching for this thing? They put stuff in it, just like Oreos. Oreos have this extra, addictive substance in there.
They're so tasty.
That keeps you going back for one more. And it actually cuts down, and I can't remember the satiety hormone, but it cuts down the satiety hormone. It just like blocks it. It says, keep eating. When you're full.
Wait, it's like the hormone to tell you to stop eating?
Stop eating.
It blocks it?
It blocks it.
Oh, gosh.
It's not good. Yeah. So processed food, I went through like a metabolic kind of reset, which I do encourage people to do every so often, to just get super, super simple. I'm going through one of those right now. Really, really love to do it. Normally, I'm like an 80-20 guy, you know, because this whole conversation about rhythms and wellness and, you know, discipline, it's all covered with the gospel of Jesus Christ, who died and rose again. You're going to die, you're going to rise again. So it's just to take your right next step. For me, I'm a workout guy. I was telling you yesterday, I'm kind of just a little fanatical about it.
Yeah.
If I don't move in the morning, get my about 10-minute stretch in, planks, push-ups, followed by a 20 to 40-minute kind of, could be a HIIT workout or some sort of push or pull workout, followed by being on my bike, doing my kind of devotions. If that first hour of the day doesn't happen for me, honestly, I can't remember the last time it didn't happen, which is kind of nuts. I'm very, you could say disciplined or neurotic.
It's a fine line.
Both are probably fair. I'm trying to, you know, in the Lutheran world, Lutheran beverages are a part of our kind of culture. Alcohol, the Bible speaks about alcohol and the fruit of the vine, you know, gladdens the heart of men and things like that. Jesus' first miracle kept the party going, all that kind of stuff. But making it kind of a habit, I'm trying to get out of that habit. You know, it's late in the night and I'm just have a gin and tonic. I like gin and tonic from time to time. So it's just like, is that really
necessary?
It's not. So maybe more feast days and celebration times and less consistent. So you can pray for me with that.
Hey guys, Pastor Tim here. We pray this content is strengthening you in addition to your involvement in your local church, whether that is with us at Christ Greenfield or another church family. If God is indeed using our content to help you grow, would you consider giving back to Christ Greenfield? You can do so by going to christgreenfield.church/give or click on the link in the description. May God continue to stir your affections for Jesus and for His people.
What makes you the most sad as you look at the state of health in America?
I think it would have to be, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, like the absolute wonder of it, how intricately everything is, like physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, but also then the state of us, even within the church, our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. It's like, it's hard to see, you know? I'd have to say like how it all impacts each other and its impact on us.
Yeah. We've talked processed food a lot. That makes me sad. And the healthcare industry, and there is a lot of, I use the word collusion. It's about money, not always about people. And so pharmaceutical industries supporting studies that support processed foods, like they're very intertwined. And so that makes me sad. What also makes me sad is pornography. And how when our minds are not right and we're on these phones, the rate of pornography outside of and within the church, that makes me super sad.
Yeah, what's crazy about pornography, I read this article, this was a while back, so I don't know if it's like peer reviewed, but I remember reading like there's a study done in like in your brain, the parts of the brain that lights up when you're looking at pornography are associated with tools.
With what?
Tools.
Tools?
Tools, like hammers and nails. Huh. So it physically changes your brain so that now when you see
an object,
somebody of the opposite sex or they are attracted
to,
they literally become an object, like a tool
wow.
in your mind, like because your brain gets hardwired. So that's why, there's so many reasons why it's like not good for us, relationally, but also like actually physically it changes you. Like it's crazy.
It is. What were let's get positive. Let's get with Jesus.
There we go.
What were the physical rhythms of Jesus that you most want to emulate?
Yeah. One was it was part of our scripture reading. When he's on the boat, he naps.
Jesus naps. Jesus takes a nap.
Oh, man.
Even in the midst of storms. He's just like chilling.
It's like, I'm good. I'm going to take a nap, guys. I'm tired. This is a healthy rhythm for me. Like, I love it. Like, he knew his body. It was like, I'm gonna take a rest.
And he also, on the other side of that, could go beast mode and pull an all-nighter.
Yeah.
Like he did the night he was betrayed.
Yeah.
No rest. Beaten, whipped. He comes and says, hey, will you guys watch and pray with me in the Garden of Gethsemane? Yep. And what are they doing? They're napping.
They're
not the
napping.
time to be napping, fellas. Like this,
I need you.
It's all coming to this pinnacle moment.
yeah.
And yet he leans on the. So yeah, Jesus is a bad man. He's a beast.
He is
Jesus
a
is
beast.
physically in control. Other stories of Jesus, rhythms that should be emulated.
I think too, like his ability to physically like go into solitude in time of silence, which kind of intertwines all of the mental, emotional, spiritual, but also physically. Physically, you're away. Physically, he's in a quiet place to spend time with his Father, and that physical solitude prepared him for the day. Because I think one of the things from your message this past week that like resonated was like, what's the why? Why should we care for our bodies? Not only because God made them, because they're good, because they're going to be a part of the resurrection, but for the mission, for what God has prepared for you. That's why we want to have the physical body and energy and capabilities so that, you know, we can live out who He's called us to be.
That's it. And it flows from rest and self-care. Self-care is not selfish. Jesus is baptized. Here's the declaration of who he is. And then immediately, this is wild, the Holy Spirit takes him out, throws him out into the wilderness for how long, dude?
40 days. Man.
40 days!
40 days.
That's a long time.
To be on your own, yeah.
And like serious fasting and prayer, discerning the will of the Father takes place out there. He's able to stand up under every temptation that you or I would have just wilted under, right? And then he moves right out into his ministry from that place of rest, solitude, silence. He's unreal. Jesus gives us not only salvation, but he also gives us a pattern to follow. So what do you think, coming down the home stretch here, before we get to some of my favorite foods? I want to close talking about food. What do you think our bodies, though, will look like in the resurrection?
Oh, man, I don't know. Hopefully spectacular.
So I think, can we say this? I think we'll look similar-ish.
Yes.
And here's why, because Jesus looked similar-ish after his bodily resurrection. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, N.T. Wright talks about how like what's really unique about the resurrection is like it's Jesus, yet he's more. Like people weren't able to recognize him, but then when they interacted with him, they could recognize him. You know, like their eyes were open, and physically he could walk through walls.
Yeah.
Yet he was physical because he'd like eat with them. Like it is similar but different.
The constraints. The three-dimensional constraints of this world appear to not make, it doesn't do anything to Jesus.
Yeah.
Post-resurrection.
The resurrected body, yeah.
So do you think we'll be able to, so I've had this recurring dream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This recurring dream that I can, don't laugh at me, Ellie, that I can fly. I've had this dream and it literally feels like I can fly.
That's
like
a spectacular dream.
That I'm Peter Pan, man, you know? And I got this, like, something happens and I'm like, woo, and then I can like just stop and then I like can move like laterally.
Yeah.
And I'm very fast, Ellie. It keeps happening to me. This is a recurring dream.
That sounds like an amazing dream.
It's an amazing dream.
It's an amazing dream.
Yeah, so any dreams about what I think I'll be able to fly. We'll see.
That would be awesome. That would be cool. Let's add it to the list. I'd love to be able to fly, especially if like 3D space doesn't matter, gravity doesn't matter.
Right.
I think I'm remembering this right. Luther talks about the resurrection and like he kind of theorizes like we'll be able to like if a storm's coming or tornado, we'll be able to tell it to stop and move.
Nah.
Yeah. Or something
my
crazy
kids
like
today,
that.
I got a track meet today. Not today.
Not today.
Not today, Cloud.
I gotta run that 100-meter dash. I don't know. It's always fun to like theorize and dream, but it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, it is. So let your imagination go and yearn for that day when you'll be with Jesus and be like Jesus. So Dr. Ahlman, to close here, Dr. Ahlman's one of my faves. He's got a blog that comes out consistently that I take in. He's got podcasts that come out that I kind of rotate through from time to time. This blog that came out recently, Foods That Elevate Happiness. Who doesn't want more joy?
Right.
More presence, more peace. 9 sad foods that steal your happiness. Highly processed foods. Low in fiber foods. Food like fake foods. We create foods, right? Artificially colored sweetened foods. Foods laden with hormones and antibiotics. All of those things, like if you look on the package and the ingredient list is like this long, not good.
There's food with antibiotics in it?
Antibiotics. Food industry uses antibiotics to prevent disease in livestock, like chicken.
Oh.
Means you are consuming these medications as well. Food that's stored in plastic containers. A BPA chemical gets released from plastic containers. Some people are super OCD about non-plastic anything. That's not us right now. But anyway, here are 11 quick happy foods that boost your mood. Sustainably raised fish and meat, nuts, seeds, healthy oils. Favorite oil?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil, really, really good. Really good. Shout out to the olive mill, olive oil. Really, really solid. Eggs, when you can afford them. Eggs, clean protein powders, sugar-free, plant-based. Dark chocolate does a lot for the mind. Boosts the mind. Unprocessed foods, organic foods, low glycemic foods. Do you know what that means? So food that doesn't spike your blood sugar levels. It keeps them humming right. And then actually what does this well are a lot of good fruits like goji berries. Or goji berries are really, really good. Kiwi. You can eat 3 kiwis per day, and it's like scientifically proven to increase your mental aptitude.
Whoa.
Isn't that nuts? Anyway, there's so many good things to learn. If God made it, you should eat it.
Eat it.
Eat it.
So what I'm hearing, though, is like with the nuts and then dark chocolate, one of my favorite things to get at like Trader Joe's is their dark chocolate almonds.
Oh, those are good.
So you're saying superfood, eat all those like...
Superfood. Well, I mean, here's the thing about nuts. Nuts, you can't eat too. If you actually stop and listen to your body after you eat like maybe a handful-ish, you're good.
You're good.
You got your fat, really, really solid fats. Anyway, nuts are great, and we're a little nutty today. Thanks for joining us here on CG Live. We'll be back with you. Man, isn't it a joy to be a pastor at Christ Greenfield?
It's good. It's so good.
And we love having you here. So it's a good day. Go and make it a great day.